All right, going live again on TikTok, not TikTok, no, Instagram and YouTube. Hopefully, it doesn't cut out on YouTube again this time. And the audio was terrible on my YouTube last time as well. So, hopefully, I've got that figured out too. So, hopefully, everything is going smooth this time and we are all good. We are talking today about the latest Wall Street Journal article. They are just kind of killing it with all of these articles. They're very clickbaity, very biased. They are hidden behind a paywall. So it's a good way, I guess, to get people to pay for the Wall Street Journal. But they are really working hard on creating all of this content calling out tech companies. So I'd love to see them do one on Apple, and maybe we will see something like that. But this is the article I'm talking about today: is how TikTok serves up sex and drug videos to minors. So I want to get into this article. I'll read a bunch of it, react to some of it. I have been an IT expert for over almost 20 years. 19 years and counting. So I have a lot of the technical background to kind of break this down. So, and I've been doing this whole family tech thing since 2009. So that's kind of my credential breakdown. Let's get right into this. The kind of caption on here says, the popular app can quickly drive young users into endless spools of adult content, including videos, touting drug use, and promoting pornography sites. So what it starts out, like right off the bat, it starts out, and I am already having issues with it. It says, after signing up for an account on TikTok, a 13-year-old user started by searching the app for OnlyFans. So this is literally the first thing that the user does is search the app for OnlyFans, which is mainly adult rated content on OnlyFans. I'm sure there's other stuff there, but it is definitely known for a lot of adult content. So this is the name of a site known for hosting adult entertainment, then watching a handful of videos in the results, including two selling pornography. We'll get into why this is problematic in a minute. But so where TikTok delivered a string of popular videos that many users see, and the app didn't forget the young user's interest, quickly serving up more as the user scrolled through the videos appearing in the feed, lingering on the more sexually oriented ones while moving more quickly past the others. The For You feed was soon almost entirely dominated by TikToks involving inappropriate content like that. So the app's algorithm had pushed the user into a rabbit hole that many users call kink talk, and some of this content is banned by the platform. So this wasn't actually a 13-year-old user. I love how the Wall Street Journal just kind of leads with that and is like, hey, this 13-year-old user got served all of this content. It wasn't a 13-year-old user. The account was one of dozens of automated accounts or bots that were created from the Wall Street Journal to understand what TikTok shows young users. So these bots, registered as users aged 13 to 15, were turned loose to browse TikTok's For You feed, the highly personalized, never-ending feed curated by the algorithm. So the first problem we encounter here is that they used bots. So they programmed these bots to be interested in specific content. And I'm going to hand it to TikTok in this one. Their algorithm is very, very smart. So they are really, really good at getting you exactly the content that you are interested in very quickly. So if these bots are pre-programmed to be interested in sexually explicit stuff or in drug paraphernalia, yes, TikTok is going to learn that very quickly and serve them that type of content. So that's the first problem: is bots will behave like bots. They're not behaving like a real human being would behave. So anything that is not in this specific category that these bots are programmed to be interested in is going to be quickly swiped through. And so you're not going to see that content because it's going to keep serving you stuff that you have shown an interest in. And these bots have only shown an interest in these inappropriate topics, which I would assume most kids would not have that problem. They would not be only showing interest in inappropriate content. So this is the first problem I have with the article. I mean, we went into problems with TikTok itself, but for the first thing, bots, yeah, don't do it with bots because, or at least program these bots to have other interests besides just the interest you are trying to see if TikTok will serve you. Because of course, if you show interest in something, TikTok is going to show you what you are interested in. Like I said, their algorithm is very smart. It is going to quickly learn what you are interested in. So an analysis of the videos served to these accounts found that through its powerful algorithms, TikTok can quickly drive minors, among the biggest users of the app, into endless spools of content about sex and drugs. TikTok served one account registered as a 13-year-old at least 569 videos about drug use, references to cocaine and meth addiction, and promotional videos for online sales of drug products and paraphernalia. Hundreds of similar videos appeared in the feeds of the journal's other minor accounts. So, again, these are bots. These are not actual minors, and they are not performing or not browsing through TikTok like a minor would browse through TikTok. TikTok also showed the journal's teenage users more than 100 videos from accounts recommending paid pornography sites and sex shops. Thousands of others were from creators who labeled their content as for adults only. Still others encouraged eating disorders, glorified alcohol, including depictions of drinking and driving and of drinking games. The journal shared with TikTok a sample of 974 videos about drugs, pornography, and other adult content that were served to the minor accounts, including hundreds shown to single accounts in quick succession. Of those, 169 were removed from the platform before the journal even shared it with them. So TikTok had already flagged these videos and removed them before the Wall Street Journal even said, hey, these videos are a problem. So whether by their creators or TikTok couldn't be determined. Another 255 were removed after being shared with the company, and among more than a dozen the women in role-playing videos said she wished TikTok did a better job of keeping adult content out of minors' feeds. So here's where we're going to get into the second problem I have with this whole article. So TikTok has built-in parental controls. So if your child has a TikTok account, you can add them to your own TikTok account and set controls on that account where you are limiting what they can search. You can eliminate the search altogether. You also can limit the time spent on the app. You can limit interactions. Okay, so comment here. TikTok is toxic in her opinion. Long-term subscriber for 6th grade. I don't understand that comment. Um, Constant inappropriate comments daily, disturbing. We'll get into that for sure. So I'm not giving TikTok a pass on this, but what I'm saying is that this article is severely flawed and it is very fear mongering. And we'll get into, I've already got into one of the problems. They're using bots. Oh, substitute teacher. I get, I'm like, I don't, sub means subscriber to me. It's, YouTube and, but yeah, substitute teacher is 6th grade. Definitely. And there are problems with TikTok for sure. But here's what I'm saying about the parental controls. So, too many parents don't know that there are parental controls available for TikTok and they just give their child access to TikTok. And that is definitely a problem. So making it more aware, like, so maybe if you're setting up we'll get into this a little bit more, but maybe putting some warnings as you're setting up an account for a 13-year-old, because at 13 you can have a TikTok account. Sixth graders probably shouldn't even have TikTok because they're not 13. So there's that problem altogether. But when they turn 13, they can have a TikTok account. So maybe there should be some warnings. Hey, this account is a minor. You might want to set up the parental controls, and here is how. I think that would go a long way to get these things fixed. So TikTok does have this parental controls settings. You can make it private. You can limit that they cannot search. You can do all of these things, limit time. You can set it up so it's more of a restricted mode. So a lot of these adult things would not even be served in the For You page for these accounts because they're set up in this family pairing. And so what I think is unfair for this article to have done is to not set up the minor accounts with this family pairing. They set up the minor accounts with free access. And of course, TikTok algorithm is not going to go through and say, "Oh, this is a minor account," because they have these parental control settings. If you want to set up restricted mode, there is a way to set that up. So they're not going to distinguish who's 13 and who's not. People can lie about their age all of the time. So it's not a really good indication of who is actually over 18 or under 13 because they are going to lie about their birthday. So in they're going to try and tweak the algorithm to take into account the age of the person. It's not going to help anything because they're already lying about their age. Like Takesha, sorry if I spelled or if I pronounced your name wrong, um, is saying there are kids who are under 13 who are on TikTok. They had to lie about their age to get on TikTok. So whether they say they're 13 or they say they're 18, it's not going to help make the algorithm better or worse for them. So that's the other problem I have with this with this article. So um going into this person who creates adult content on TikTok. And granted, it's not going to be hardcore adult content. It's just going to be inappropriate for a child. She says, I do have in my bio that it is 18 and over, but I have no real way to police this. Well, neither does TikTok because they're going to be lying about their age anyway. And then she says, I do not agree with TikTok showing my content to someone so young. Again, I don't think it's TikTok's responsibility to really figure out the age of the child because they can't. They're already lying about their age and it's not going to change anything that. So this is where parents come in. Parents need to set up the parental controls within TikTok in order to prevent some of this stuff. So I would love to see this Wall Street Journal article do it again, but set up all of these bot accounts under family pairing and see if they get the same results. Because at the moment, it's just really not fair for TikTok. And like I said, TikTok's not innocent for sure. We'll get into that. The spokeswoman said, this is a spokeswoman for TikTok, that the app doesn't differentiate between videos it serves to adults and minors, but said that the platform is looking to create a tool that filters content for young users. And I believe they've already got that filter halfway in place. Like I said, if you're under family pairing, you can set it up in a restricted mode that will try and filter out a lot of the content. It's not perfect, but it is an extra layer on there. So TikTok's terms of service say that users must be at least 13 years old. So all of those kids in her sixth grade class who are not 13 are on TikTok illegally, and that users under 18 need consent from their parents. And so, like I was saying, when you're setting up an account for a 13 to 18-year-old, I feel like it should give you a warning. Hey, this is a minor, so set up the parental controls with this account. And I think that would be a really good step. And I don't think it would be that hard for TikTok to do. Um, So, protecting minors is vitally important, and TikTok has taken industry first steps to promote a safe and age appropriate experience for teens, the spokeswoman said in a statement. She noted that the app allows parents to manage screen time and privacy settings for their children's accounts. So, what I think she also should have said, and she might have said this, but maybe the Wall Street Journal didn't include this quote, but it also filters the content and limits the ability to search. So that's definitely something they're not even addressing in this article at all, which I think is again very unfair for the Wall Street Journal to do that because they're saying all of these things and they're not giving parents a tool to fix it. It says allow the app allows parents to manage screen time and privacy settings. That doesn't help parents who are thinking, I'm like, oh, my child who's 14 has a TikTok account. I can limit the privacy settings, but how do I do that? So it's really important, I think, for people like the Wall Street Journal to not only present this problem, which they are presenting the problem well, but also what's flawed and what they can do to fix this problem, and what parents can do to fix it. So the article goes on to say, an earlier video investigation by the journal found that TikTok only needs one important piece of information to figure out what a user wants: the amount of time you linger over a piece of content. Every second you hesitate or rewatch, the app tracks you. And this is absolutely true. Like I said, TikTok is very smart. It can get you to what you are looking for and what you are interested in very, very quickly. Through that one powerful signal, TikTok can learn your most hidden interests and emotions and drive users of any age deep into rabbit holes of content in which feeds are heavily dominated by videos about a specific topic or theme. It's an experience that other social media companies like YouTube have struggled to stop. And I don't think they've struggled to stop anything. This is what social media platforms are doing to make it more interesting to you, to keep you on this platform, because that's what they want. They want you to be on the platform for as long as possible. Um, what I really so I will do a whole video on a reaction to The Social Dilemma, which I feel I didn't really like the video at all, but The Social Dilemma does do a good job of showing you exactly what the problem is, um, on how they are getting you to interact on the platforms that you're on more frequently and get you to want to be on those platforms for longer. And a lot of it has to do with sending you stuff that you will be interested in, and they have to learn what those interests are. So, like I said, TikTok is very, very good at this. Like that for you feed gets dialed in super fast. And I think a lot of the other platforms are trying to do that. Like I said, I will do a whole video, and maybe next week is when I'll do the video on The Social Dilemma. It was, it's like a year too late to be talking about The Social Dilemma, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I have a lot to say about that video. It's available on Netflix, and actually, I think that they've made it available on YouTube for this month. But there are a lot of problems in that movie for sure. The best part of that movie is the credits, the end credits, when they're talking to people and they're saying different tips, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the best part of the movie. So if you fast forward through the whole movie and you watch the end credits, it'll be the best thing you ever did. But anyway, that's Social Dilemma. I will probably do video. My live next week will be on the Social Dilemma. But um, back to the Wall Street Journal article. So the journal assigned each of its 31 minor accounts a date of birth and an IP address. An IP address just means who you are. Like it's basically your home address, but it's the digital version of your home address. Most were also programmed with various interests, which were revealed to TikTok only through lingering on videos with related hashtags or images and through scrolling quickly past others. So, like I said, this is problematic because most people don't have just a specific set of interests. Other things can interest you when you are watching TikTok, Um, yeah, social dilemma, mind blowing. Yeah, I have a lot of problems with that movie, but like I said, the end credits are amazing. But we'll talk about the social dilemma next week for sure. Um, but yeah, so the problem with these bot accounts is that they have very limited interest, and it is different when you're a user, when you're a person, and different things will interest you, like the music that somebody put on their TikTok, or just the way they started, or anything like that. Those things can interest you more than just the topic that the TikTok is talking about. So, say the TikTok is about, something inappropriate, but the music wasn't something that was interesting or anything like that. And, a regular user might just scroll on past that. So there's a lot of things that can go into that algorithm that when you're just going based on topics that are a bot, like AI, an AI person who just has these limited interests, that's going to be problematic and it's going to serve you up the wrong stuff. So, so one bot was programmed to dwell on videos with hashtags related to drugs, among other topics. Yes, of course, it's going to serve you more content about drugs if that is what you are programmed to linger on. So, let's when I print out the Wall Street Journal, there is like a zillion pages of kind of crap. So it's hard to get through all the pages to get to the content. Anyway, um, so it says about a dozen of the journal's 31 minor accounts ended up being dominated by a particular theme. Of course, because they are programmed to show interest in that particular theme. Like, I don't know why this is a new concept for the Wall Street Journal. This can be especially problematic for young people who may lack the capability to stop watching and don't have supportive adults around them. David Anderson, a clinical psychiatrist at the Child Mind Institute, a nonprofit mental health care provider for children. And I think this is definitely somewhere where we can help. So there's so many adults who aren't supportive, who just give their 10, 11-year-old access to TikTok and don't really think about the repercussions, or don't they're just trying to appease their child. So I think that is the big problem here. Like, TikTok itself is not the problem. It's a social media platform. Its job is to keep you on the platform. And so they're going to serve you content that will keep you on the platform. And whether you're a child or whether you're an adult, it's going to have the same effect. So, what TikTok has done here is allowed you the ability to limit time on TikTok. So, again, with the family pairing, you can set up a time limit for TikTok. And what's great about the family pairing is your child can't like log out of their account or switch accounts when they are under this family pairing, because TikTok won't allow that to happen. So there's also, the website. So you might want to just lock down the web so it's only in the app itself. But there are things that you can do to, and obviously there's things the kids can do to get around it. There are things that you can do to prevent that getting around. How to control the family pairing. Yeah, so if you go into TikTok, so you have to have your own TikTok account, settings, and go to family pairing, then it'll have you um, add your child's TikTok account. I think you can create a TikTok account there, or if they're signed into their phone with TikTok, then you add it to this family pairing. So then you control it from your own TikTok account. So you go into TikTok, you go into the settings and then family pairing, and then you'll have all your children listed there. And then you click on the child, and then you set up the different settings that are there. And so it's actually got a lot of great settings. You can limit who can contact them. You can limit who can friend them. Like, they can't have any friends, or you can limit the time spent on it. You can also limit what they what restricted mode, so they're not seeing a lot of this inappropriate content. Um, and you can turn on and off the ability to search. So I have a TikTok actually about like just kind of takes you through the family pairing really quick. So that's on my TikTok account, which is also at Family Tech. I'm Family Tech on all social media platforms. Um, no, so that's I think what the so the question here, again, for those of you who are on YouTube, I'm getting some questions on Instagram. Um, she says, I created the TikTok with their date of birth. Would that make it limited for what they view? No, it would not. And that's basically what this whole article is talking about. They've created these bot accounts that are 13, 14, 15 years old. But what they didn't do is set up the family pairing. And so it's not a fair judge of what these child accounts will see. Like I said, TikTok isn't going to differentiate who's 13 and who's 18 because people lie about their age all of the time. And so, as somebody else mentioned earlier, there's children who are in 6th grade who are on TikTok, and TikTok is only available for 13 and up. So they've obviously already lied about their age, so they could lie and say they're 18, and then it's not going to differentiate. So I don't think they're really going to change their algorithm for that just because it is so easy to lie about that. But if it's under family pairing, then it can be a lot more locked down because they know that that is a minor account and you have set those restrictions within family pairing. So yeah, just putting it as a 13-year-old is not going to change the algorithm for a 13-year-old. So and I think, and that's what this was really getting at. This article, it was very clickbaity. It had a lot of flaws in the article, but when it performed its tests, that's basically what it was trying to prove, that whether or not the account is 13 or 18, it's serving them the same content if they are interested in that content. So back to the article, it says the TikTok spokeswoman said the journal's bots in no way represents the behavior and viewing experience of a real person. And that is exactly what I was getting at with that. In part because humans have diverse and changing interests. She added that the platform was reviewing how to help prevent even highly unusual viewing habits from creating negative cycles, particularly for our younger users. And so they are aware that this can be a problem if something is just showing interest in a very, very, very specific topic that is unusual viewing habits. And so they are working on a way to kind of break that negative cycle of those unusual viewing habits. But these AI bots definitely showed unusual viewing habits because they're only interested in those specific topics that they've been programmed to linger on. So, I mean, like I said, that is a huge problem in their study. So, um, going on in the article, so it talked a lot about directing users to OnlyFans and whether or not to allow that kind of content. Spokeswoman said that that it TikTok itself prohibits nudity and sexual solicitation and removes accounts that redirect users to sexual content or services, including on OnlyFans. So they are trying to limit that. But let's get into policing. So it says TikTok relies on a combination of algorithms and more than 10,000 people to police its huge and growing volume of content, according to former executives of the company. The company said in a recent report that it removed 89 million videos in the second half of last year, but it has a hard time to keep up with the app's growth. The former executive said TikTok now has about 100 million users in the US consuming and producing videos from 25 million in 2019. So 25 million in 2019 to 100 million today. That is insane growth. Um, the company said that users upload tens of thousands of videos every minute. So, to keep pace, moderators focus on the most popular content, leaving videos with lower view counts largely unreviewed, the former executives said. So, this is where we get into a moderation problem. So, there are, with any type of app that has user generated content, there is going to be inappropriate things that get through. And this is where I have a hard time believing that, because they can tag a if I post a video that has anything to do with COVID, $10 says this video will have a warning on it because I just said it. Anything to do with COVID, it will get tagged that like with information about COVID, and then it'll have a little link to give you information about COVID. The platforms are really, really good at detecting that information. Why aren't they as good at detecting inappropriate content is what I want to know, because they can clearly do it based on very specific topics, but they keep allowing this inappropriate content that they say is not allowed on their platform, and yet it gets through all the time. And this isn't just on TikTok. This is on YouTube, and this is on Instagram and Pinterest. If you're not aware that Pinterest has inappropriate content, it has a lot of inappropriate content. So there is a huge moderation problem on these platforms that it seems like they can fix, but they are choosing not to, maybe. So I think there's a bigger problem here about the moderation algorithms and what we can maybe do to try and fix that, so that if I have set restricted mode on TikTok, if I have set restricted mode on, I don't think Pinterest has a restricted mode, but something like that, a restricted mode on YouTube, then how can all of this inappropriate content get through? And that is my big question for all the social media platforms, because it constantly happens. So, in July, TikTok said that in the US, it would begin relying on its algorithms to both identify and remove certain types of videos that violate its rules in an effort to enforce its rules more quickly. Previously, TikTok's algorithms identified rule breaking videos, but humans reviewed them before removal. So something gets flagged, then a human reviews it, and then it gets removed if it's inappropriate. What it's saying is it's probably going to try and switch that around, that if it flags it, it's going to remove it temporarily if I feel like it's appropriate, because I have a TikTok that I got flagged for and it removed it, and I actually have the same reel. It's just the one about iPhone users liking text messages. And I'm like, I don't think that's inappropriate. So maybe it was an iPhone user that flagged me. I don't know. But so now what it's saying is it's going to remove the flagged videos, and then you can appeal that instead of flagging the videos, having a human review it, and then going through and actually removing it. So I think that is definitely a step in the right direction for TikTok. The company made the announcement after the journal shared hundreds of examples of potentially rule-breaking content that the app had served its bots. TikTok said it has been experimenting with this new system for over the past year. So hopefully this gets rolled out a lot more quickly. I would love to see inappropriate content, stuff that is actually not allowed on these platforms, getting flagged quicker and getting removed quicker. TikTok spokeswoman said that no algorithm will ever be completely accurate at policing content because of the amount of context that goes into understanding a video, particularly ones about drugs. As I can put something about how I get an IV infusion every 8 weeks, which I have coming up on Monday, and that might get flagged for drugs. But as a content creator, I would say I would rather get flagged and have it remove the content, and then I can appeal it, than the opposite. because I would rather be able to be like, oh, okay, this got flagged for this. Let me explain why it's not inappropriate. And I would be okay with that. And I think other legitimate content creators would also be okay with that. So, um, policing content has been complicated by the company's decisions in recent years to loosen some restrictions that including around skin exposure and bikinis, according to several former executives and content moderators. So I could see things like breastfeeding videos and things like that getting flagged. But again, as a content creator, I would rather see it flagged first and then manually looked over and been like, oh, okay, actually that's fine because it's a breastfeeding video. So I would say, they had it backwards at the beginning, but I think they're correcting that. Um, so we're going back to the bots. They just kind of end that saying, of the 1,200 videos shown to the teenage account, again, this is an actual teenagers, 616 have since been removed from the app after they were shown to the people. So, excuse me. Over the course, so then it talked about the methodology. And again, this is where I have the most problems with this Wall Street Journal article. It says most of the accounts were given interests consisting of keyword terms and machine learning image classifications. If a video matched the interest, then the account would dwell on that video. Otherwise, the account would quickly move to the next video. And so, what I'm saying is, it's literally only dwelling on videos of that specific interest. Of course, the algorithm is going to continue to serve videos about that particular topic. So it brings up the question, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, they all do the same thing. They're serving you videos that you have shown interest in. But where this methodology is flawed is that they're not also interested in other things. So, like I said, I could be interested in just the music that is on a video and I don't really care about the content. And then it's going to serve me different kinds of content. But if I'm only searching and only lingering on very, very specific topics, yes, I'm going to go down a rabbit hole of these specific topics and whether those topics are inappropriate, which these bots have been programmed to browse through inappropriate content. Whether it's appropriate or not, that's going to be the problem. So, where does that leave us as parents with this article? Again, I hate fear mongering so much. And it seems like the Wall Street Journal is like really going all in on the tech fear mongering. And that drives me crazy. So I'm going to have to keep my Wall Street Journal subscription for a little longer because they are continuing to pump out this type of content. And I would like to kind of put another voice out there saying, this methodology is flawed. This is why this methodology is flawed. And stop scaring parents as to what's going on. So here's some takeaways I have. First, don't pay attention to articles that are meant to scare you. Anything that's meant to scare you. And this goes for email spam when you're getting a phishing email or anything like that. Anything that is meant to put fear in you is not going to be healthy. And it's not going to be the only thought in that process. So that's the one takeaway I have from this. The second takeaway is I would definitely limit time spent on these various apps and limit time spent online altogether. So, as a parent, it's our responsibility to make sure our kids are not going down these rabbit holes and spending hours and hours and hours looking at a specific topic. The other thing, and I saw this on a Facebook group a while back, and I thought this was genius. But when you create your child's TikTok account, I'm like, what social platform am I talking about right now? When you create a child's TikTok account, spend about a week and spend about a week in the account and looking at things that are appropriate for kids and that your child might have interest in, and to teach that algorithm right away what your child is interested in before they kind of get the rabbit hole of all sorts of different content. Because at the beginning, TikTok's going to show you a range of content, and it's going to start narrowing the content that it delivers to you from what you show interest in. So at the beginning, if you teach the algorithm what your child is interested in, then as soon as you hand over that account, again, with family pairing set up so that they can't friend people and they can't get messages from random people and things like that. If you do it in this way, they're going to have a lot better experience on the app than somebody who's just kind of a bot who's programmed to only like sexual content and drug related content. So, the experience that you have on social media platforms is going to be very catered to what you show interest in. Again, because they are trying to keep you on that platform. So, um, so that's the other takeaway. So, if you set up family pairing for your child, if you teach the algorithm prior to handing over the account to your child, if you don't let your child have an account until they are 13 years old, that is the uh, soapbox that I will step on and preach to the world is children should not be on social media if you have to lie about their age. So for Facebook Messenger kids, they can be younger. That's okay. But if you have to lie about your child's age to get them an account, they don't get an account. And I think that is super, super important to understand. And I've mentioned this before in other videos that 13 is not just some arbitrary number. It is from the Children's Online Privacy and Protection Act, COPA. And so it's a law that states that these tech companies cannot gather private information from a child who is under 13. So when you lie about your child's age, you are causing that company to break the law because they have information about your child who is under 13, and they can be held liable for having that content. And that is why they make those age restrictions 13 years old. And so 13 is the age of social media, but you know your child better. So you figure out if this child is fine with social media at 13, but maybe this child needs to wait until they're 15 because they can't handle it like your 13-year-old. That is going to be something different from every child, for every family. But again, don't give it to them until they are 13 years old. So that's the other takeaway I have from this. So the big, big takeaway is that don't pay attention to fear mongering and you know, if you see a headline like this, dig deeper and figure out what are they doing, what else is available to fix this problem, and really help understand what it is they're talking about. And then it'll take that fear away. So, anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. And I respond to direct messages on Instagram. If you're not subscribed to me on YouTube, I am live on YouTube as well. And so definitely get me subscribe to me there as well, and follow me here on Instagram. As I do tech tips, I do these lives every Tuesday. I will try and start uploading these lives also to my podcast, which is Family Tech Talk. But other than that, just make sure that that you are aware of what your child is doing online. And if they are under the age of 13, make sure they are not on these social media platforms. And when they are on these social media platforms, oh, this was the last takeaway. Promise, last takeaway I want to give. If you log into their account and you scroll through their feed, you will have a good idea as to what they are looking at. So every once in a while, just scroll through their feed, their For You feed if you're on TikTok, or their Reels, or their Explore page on Instagram, and it will give you a good idea of what they've been looking at and what they've been seeing, without like I am a big proponent of monitoring for sure. I talk about it all the time on my Reels and here, and on YouTube. But even without monitoring, you can have you can have an idea of what they're looking at just by logging into their account and looking through that For You page or that Explore page, or their recommended videos on YouTube, because it's going to serve them up more stuff that they have shown an interest in. So if those videos are inappropriate, they have definitely been looking at inappropriate things. So check out all of that. And just be aware and talk to your kids about what is happening. We talked about this in the last video with Instagram. Instagram being toxic for kids. If they are following people that makes them feel bad about themselves, talk to them about that and say, hey, maybe we should clean up your feed a little bit and unfollow some people that are making you feel bad about yourself, because that's really going to help. And if their algorithm has started showing them inappropriate things, you can, like, especially on TikTok, if you just press on the screen and hold it down for a minute and then hit the I'm not interested in this, you're going to start teaching it to go back and kind of clean up that feed. So that's what I have to say about the Wall Street Journal article on TikTok. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to DM me, leave comments here, and I am happy to answer them. So hopefully we'll get like I said, next week I will talk about the social dilemma. I think the week after that I will watch Childhood 2.0. These are all videos that, like, I've already seen Social Dilemma. Like I said, I wasn't impressed. I'll have a lot to say about that. So that will be next Tuesday, and we will see you guys next time.